It says 2 ordinary 6-sided dice are rolled. What's the probability of getting a sum of 8? So you have one die, and then you have 2 dice. Okay, and these are just normal dice, not like how I have drawn, but something like that. Well, when you think about it, okay, you have 2 of them, right? So you have, from the fundamental counting principle, there are 6 choices for the first dice, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And for the second die, there are 6 choices, right? So there are 36 possible outcomes. Okay, so we know that. But what are those outcomes? So a lot of times they'll make a chart. So, and you could think of one die being red and one die being green to keep them separate. It doesn't matter which one's which, but it does affect the probability. Okay, so let's say the red die is up here. You could have it be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. And let's say the green die is over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same choices, right? Okay, so you could get 1, 1. Snake eyes. Or you could have a 1 on the green and a 2 on the red, or a 1 on the green and a 3 on the red. And then so on and so forth. These would be all the different like outcomes if the green die were 1 and the various ones for the red die. Okay, but then the green could be a 2. And so they make this chart showing you all the outcomes. And sometimes that's handy to do. And then you have a 3, 1. You can see how this is occurring. You go through all the possibilities for the 3. And then the 4. They list them as ordered pairs just to kind of keep it separated for you. It's a little time consuming here. But in a minute, it'll be helpful. We don't do this very often. There's other ways we can show things. They talk about a first die and a second die. Okay. Whew. All right, so we got all those done. Now we want the probability of getting the sum of 8. So which ones have a sum of 8? Well, 2 and 6, that's a sum of 8. 3 and 5, 4 and 4, 5 and 3, and 6 and 2. Now, this matters that there are 2 choices there. They both total up to 8, but those are 2 different situations. In one case, the first die is a 2 and the second one is a 6. And in the other case, the first die is a 6 and the second one is a 2. Okay, so you have to list that. So there are 5 possible ways of getting an 8. So 5 ways to get a sum of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And so we take the probability of getting a sum of 8. So that's the event. The probability is n of e, okay, the number of ways to get that event out of the number of outcomes, n of s. Okay, so our n of e is 5. There's 5 ways to do it, get a sum of 8. And then how many total outcomes are possible? Well, there are 36 possible outcomes. You can see that from the chart as well. So we can say 5 out of 36. If I want a decimal, 5 divided by 36, it's like 1.39. Probability, I'm sorry, not 1.39, 0.139. The probability is about 139. Okay. Sometimes they will leave these as a fraction because it's not rounded off, but sometimes you will see it as a decimal as well.